welcome back to another Quick Tip Tuesday. And today I'm teaching you the totally free and super simple way to get a blurrier background in your photos and video. As always, guys, this quick tip is brought to you by Epidemic Sound, the leader in YouTube music licensing and the soundtrack for all of these videos. If you want your videos to have music like this video, click the first link in the description, head over to Epidemic Sound, get a free trial for yourself, go download a bunch of songs, play around with them, make videos, post them online, totally free. Get that trial. And before we jump into it, hit that like button because by golly, you're awesome. Okay, let's get to today's tip, and one of the ways to up the visual vibe of your photos and videos and give it kind of more of that pro look is a blurrier background. More separation between your subject and your background. That kind of look where your subject is crisp and the background's kind of blurry. Otherwise known as bokeh. Some people will say bokeh or bokeh. It's bokeh. It's a Japanese word. It's a real word. People argue about how to say that word, but it's a real Japanese word. Look it up. It's bokeh.
Bokeh.
Bonus pro tip for you guys, how to properly say bokeh. Okay, so how do we get it? How do we achieve that look where our subject is nice and crispy, but our background is blurry? There's a few ways, and the first one is to set your aperture to a lower f-stop. If you don't know what aperture is, click this link here, shoot over to that video where you can learn 80% of photography in 10 minutes, then come back here and finish this video. And from that video, we know that a larger hole, lower number, means shallower depth of field. And a smaller hole or higher number means a deeper depth of field. So, lower aperture number, blurrier background. But oftentimes lenses that have lower aperture numbers that can go more wide open and give you that super shallow depth of field, they're more expensive. It costs a lot of money to get those lenses usually. And most average price lenses or kit lenses that might have come with your camera, they only go down to something like f4. So when you hear pros talking about f2 or f1.2, those are expensive lenses. So that doesn't fit the whole free and simple thing. And that brings us to number 2, your focal length. Focal length is super simple. The longer the focal length, the smaller the depth of field, the blurrier the background. The shorter the focal length, the wider the lens, the more depth of field there will be, less of a blurry background. So use a super long focal length and you could get a blurry background. But again, lenses that have long focal lengths, like these longer focal length lenses, are more expensive. So again, this doesn't really fit the free and simple title of this video. So lastly, the third way to get that beautiful blurry background, and oh, by the way, it's totally free and super simple, and it's to move your subject away from the background. When you move your subject away from the background, you will get a blurrier background behind your subject. I went out and shot a few photos of this to illustrate the point, but again, this works for photo and video. And on this first shot, I have my aperture set to f4, a very common kind of lowest aperture for kit lenses or kind of mid-market range lenses. And I'm at a 55mm focal length, which again is pretty common in most entry-level to mid-level lenses. So I'm not using any sort of expensive lenses to get this effect. I'm just showing you that by moving my subject away from the wall, it gets blurrier. So for this first shot, I am 6 feet away from Morgan and she's basically against the wall. And you can see that the bricks behind her, the background, super sharp, very in focus, not blurry at all. But then in the second shot, I moved Morgan 6 feet away from the wall. So I'm still 6 feet from Morgan, but now she's 6 feet from the wall. And now you can see the bricks start to get pretty blurry. Even though the distance between me and Morgan has not changed at all, just by moving both of us away from that background, the background starts to get blurry. And then in this third shot, I have Morgan 12 feet from the wall. So another 6 feet away from the wall, I'm still 6 feet away from her, so the framing's the same. There's no distortion on her face. I haven't changed my focal length at all. We've just moved ourselves away from the wall. Now you can tell that the background is getting significantly blurrier. She's really crisp, nice and sharp, and she's standing out against that background. So same settings on my camera, everything like that. All I've done is move my subject away from the background. And when you look at the third picture compared to the first picture, you can see a significant difference in the blur of those bricks. And then at the 12-foot mark, just for fun, I dropped my camera down to f2.0. Again, I know that's cheating for this exercise, but just to show you, Aperture really can make a huge difference. So investing in something like a nifty 50, really wise, and you'll get some great shots out of it. But whether you're using an expensive lens or a cheap lens, mid-level, doesn't matter what lens it is, if you move your subject away from the background, it will get blurrier, and you create that effect where your subject's nice and sharp and the background looks blurry, or it has bokeh. Totally free, super simple, Quick Tip Tuesday. If this video helped you guys, hit the like button below, and I will see you soon. Did anybody notice the mid-video shave? When I went to get the long lens, I shaved my face. Not the mustache though. I kept the mustache. What do you think? Should I keep the mustache? I don't think Morgan's gonna like it. I don't think so at all.